Hello, guys, and welcome back to Ashley Main Makes. So, tonight is a very special edition because I am presenting my new vintage singer to you guys tonight. Eh, this is the Singer 503A, and it's from 1961, and it is the first ever vintage machine I've ever bought. So I thought I would come on here and share it with you guys because I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of questions about it moving forward, and I will be doing some sewing on this guy. So I thought before I released any videos where you're like, wait, hey, what is that machine? That I would show this guy off to you guys and show you some of the features. So I'm really excited to do this tonight. I don't know if we're going to do the full 2 hours, but we'll see how it goes. And it's mostly kind of like if you guys have questions, I'm going to walk you through, like I say, some of the features. And we're going to go from there. So if you're joining me, of course, please say hello down below in the chat. I'd love to hear where you guys are from. And if you're working on anything this evening while you're watching me, I'd love to hear all about that. And so we can get started. Let me see where we're at here. So, hey Peepla, nice to see you again. Hey guys, just like giving it a couple seconds while people filter into the chat here. So this is kind of my first vintage machine that I've had. I have worked on, well, I shouldn't say that. My standard machine that you guys normally see me work on is a Janome from like 1989, 1990, somewhere in there. And so, I mean, technically vintage by standards, vintage by my own standard. But this is the first true vintage machine I've got, and I've had this one on my wish list for a really long time. It was one of the last metal machines ever produced that Singer made, and um, it has a lot of really cool things about it that, you know, it's a nice in between. So between going all the way back to say like one of the early black singers versus with a modern machine, this still has a lot of the like modern things that you would expect on a machine. So this is like a nice kind of happy medium for me to be dipping my toes into the vintage machines. Hi Katrina. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, so we're not going to actually be working on anything particular. I'm more just going to be showing off what we're doing here. Just because I know there's going to be a lot of questions about my new friend, my new toy. So yeah. So this is a great kind of year. I thought I'd kind of show this off to you guys. So this is as I said, this is the 503A. So let me just have some fanciness going on today, so I can show you guys off in another view here. So I got this all set up, so we might be moving the camera around a bit. So this is what she looks like. 1961, so it's great sort of like atomic-ish styling on this guy. And the reason I thought I'd show this guy off is because a lot of the similar machines of this year operate very similarly, and I think they would be a great kind of almost beginner machine. Now, this one is super fancy because it obviously has this atomic look to it, and this is sort of my dream machine. But I think it's the 400 series is going to be very similar, as is the 300 series of the same year, and they're going to all be metal. So they're good introductory machines into, obviously, if you haven't bought a sewing machine before, or yeah. So what I've been told is this is very similar to the 400 series. It's just in this sort of atomic packaging. I of course wanted the atomic packaging, but yeah, I loved it. Oh yeah, 1950 white, but it was knee pedal. Very cool. All right. So, yeah, so that's why I thought I'd show this off. So all told, so I purchased this machine for $70, and this was off of Facebook Marketplace. I did go see it and have a look at it and test it out before I decided to go ahead and purchase it. And then I additionally took it in to be serviced, and it needed a new tension wheel piece. So all told, I spent about $250 on this machine with the servicing and everything, but I'm not that mad at it. $70 is really reasonable for this type of machine. But I did go look on Marketplace earlier today, and I think there was 4 or 5 of the 400 series for $50. So again, if you're looking into getting into sewing, this seems like a great kind of way to do it, where you could do it inexpensively and get yourself a really solid all metal machine versus buying like a newer modern plastic singer that's probably going to break on you. So from that standpoint, it's really great. Um, there are some quirks about it for sure. Yeah, $70 is less than I spent on a new machine. Yeah, so that's just it. Like you can get kind of these all metal, and this would have been almost top of the line. Um, so why I decided so okay, so let's back up here. So okay, yeah. So this one's got some funky things about it. Obviously, we've got like kind of this atomic sort of look to it, this sort of like slant shape. That's really cool. And this whole top portion flips up here. Oop, might need to tilt my camera here. You'll have to bear with me tonight because I've got these 2 cameras going. Boink. Aha, there we go. So it's got 2 spool pins up here as well. This is the bobbin winder, and then this is the cam stack. So the difference between this 503 machine and the 500 series is this one has separate cams. So cams are basically the gears that allow for extra funky stitches. You can sort of see on the top here, it's got them all kind of laid out. Versus the 500 series has them built in, and then you can add additional cams on top of it for more decorative stitches. Obviously, because I mostly do garment sewing, I don't really worry about that most of the time. But yeah, so I thought I would go with this one. The other thing about this one, because it doesn't have the built-in cams, it's a little easier to service yourself. Again, for me, trying to use it like a training wheels vintage machine, that seemed really good, that it was easier to clean and service because you don't obviously have an extra stack in the top here. It's a little bit quieter, which of course is good for these live streams. And yeah, most of the time they say these are going to break less easily, but that's really the difference between like 500 series, 503. It's the same with like if you wanted to get a 400 versus a 403. It's basically like built-in pieces or not built-in pieces. And so this one, obviously, like when I was sewing on it earlier, I had this like up top here, but I can also like pop this off and put this inside, which is really cool. I think everything, just like the details on this are really cool. And then have my thread up here chilling. Instead, we can do 2 needles at once, like almost like a built-in twin needle, and you can run them as different colors, which is really cool. So I think we're probably going to do some of that later, like do some decorative something. I'm, intrigued to try it. And yeah. Do you have any questions so far about anything? I know I'm just like blathering on at this point. But good, good. Okay. Where are we at here? All right. So I'm probably going to start off with rethreading it here because that's going to, we're going to be showing that a bit differently than probably like a newer machine if you're not used to it. I did want to check one before I do that. Yeah, I think they're really cool machines. I was really excited about geeking out, sharing this with you guys. Um, I did get the other cams with the machine. And I'll show you guys all that. Well, let's do it now. Let's do it now before we get into the boring threading part. So let me just move this out of the way here. So I got really lucky with this. The original woman who had it, this was from an estate. So the gal was like 99 when she passed away, and so this was basically buying it from the original owner who had it. And so she actually had the original box with the great majority of the pieces in it. So I got super lucky that way, and obviously like it was in really good shape. There's just a couple chips in the paint. And it came with the original manual, which is really quite cool. It's got it actually is really good. I've basically read through this whole thing at this point because it actually has like nice clear diagrams, and it's quite an extensive manual. Like it actually shows you how to do a bunch of different techniques, even like applique and different things like that. So this is really cool. So this one has, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see. So it has a few different stitches. So these are those cams. So these are basically those gears that pop into the top of the machine here. So it has a zigzag, which it just kind of lives with. Oh, hey guys! No worries, Rotten Ralph. We're just getting into it. I just blathered on and on. I was dorking out. So yeah, so it's got a bunch. So this is kind of, can you guys see? Maybe I'll bring the machine back in to show you. It has them all on the top of the machine here. Whoop. As a standard. Yeah. Drink. So it's got an arrowhead sort of shape. Is this cam? Whoop. This cam. Trying to see what I'm doing here. So basically the stitch gets dictated by a kind of wave on the edge of these gears. So, and they just pop down. I always feel a little afraid doing this. So, like it's got my zigzag in there right now. And they all just pop down into the machine like that, and then you're good to go. It's pretty great. Sort of, hey? Sort of matches. Yeah, so they're calling this Icicle. That's this guy, this number 7 guy. What else do we have? We have a, like, super stretch. I don't think, which isn't, oh yeah, number 9, like a super stretch. It's like printed on black. It's hard to see. We have This is a blind hem stitch. We can show off. I actually ended up figuring this out the other day. My friend was asking me about how to do a blind hem, so I've already cracked that one out. It does make a really nice blind hem. Actually, it was really easy to do on this machine. It was easier than on my other old Janome. It's got, I forget what they call this one. Basically like blocks almost. That's this guy here, number 3. And we have this guy, which is this sort of circle one. Now, it says in the book that there is also like a scallop that's not this one. So I thought this was a scallop. They're saying it's something different. I don't know. So I might try and find the scallop because I think that would be cool. If that one doesn't work for my scalloping purposes. This one, which is this number 10 sort of bubble one. And what else do I have? And this one, this is the wave. This is the number 11 sort of wave one. Which is really cool. Like, it's all dictated by this outer shape on this gear. Like, it's all kind of like manually created, which is really cool. Let's see. Pull this back a bit. So yeah. What was I going to talk about? Oh, okay, so the cool thing about this that makes it like, I think slightly easier if you're a person that has used a more modern machine, wanted to try a vintage machine. So this one has a lot of neat, like obviously this can go and do a zigzag, which is nice. So if you did want to do knits, you can, unlike some of the older vintage ones that don't allow you to do that. So it just pushes down, goes along here. You can sort of see, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's moving in the top there. It's kind of cool to see everything done manually. Another really nice thing that this machine has that even my modern one doesn't have is this left, center, right. Oh, you know what else it has? A light. Again, just so cool. When you say in the middle of the project, like, yes, you can. So yes and no. You would have to stop and put it on straight and change the cog out, but you don't have to like change your thread or anything. People's question was, does it allow you to change your stitches in the middle of a project, or do you have to use one stitch continuously? So kind of yes and no. So you would have to like, you could go from straight, like say if you were using this one, you could go from straight to any one of these patterns by changing the width. So that's how it's using the zigzag cog. Otherwise you can just set it back to straight, change it out, keep going. You probably would have to like cut this and stop and start, but you don't have to change your needle or your thread or anything like that. And for me, that's probably not a big deal, just because, I mean, it's probably few and far between that I'm going to be using a decorative stitch, I would imagine, other than, like, say, a zigzag. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So this has another cool thing where you can press this in and move the needle either to the left or to the right, which is really cool for like top stitching. So it'll move either like right or left. Like you can move this back and forth while you're working on a project, which is really cool for top stitching. This one does also have a back tack, so you can press this up to go backwards and bring it down to go like forward into a basting stitch. And then this area in between, I love how they use this like atomic-y symbol thing. That's where your kind of like buttonhole stitch is. And it does quite fine stitches, like you can bring it down to tiny Victorian if you want to. Which is cool. Has a normal plate, so this actually has like all your seam allowances on it, just like a modern machine would, which is really nice. Because I know some of the old like the 99Ks and that sort of thing, like the Singer 66, 99, any of those, they don't have the seam allowance marked, which is annoying. Bobbin winder. So to me, it has basically all the modern conveniences. I think the only thing that you'd be missing on this versus a modern machine is something like if you have a thread cutter or something like that. I don't on my current machine, so really for me, my working process is basically the same. Um, and no like needle thread or anything like that. Um, so yeah, decorate a flap of a book bag with every stitch pattern on your machine. Yeah, I think this one showed in the manual. They have some really fun. Yeah, here we are. They were showing off like, you could make yourself a border out of like a combo of some of the decorative stitches. I thought it was kind of cool. They had a few like different ideas for that. So, yeah. So the other thing that it has that is similar about the seam allowances, yep, is it actually has. Bring my box of goodies over here. It actually has this guy too, which is really cool. So it has this like seam guide. So, and that actually just like screws into the machine. So I know for like other more modern machines, they have you, I've seen a lot of people use like magnetic ones and different things like that because they aren't built into the machine. This one is straight up like built into the machine. So you could set it up, if you're really trying to make sure you had your 1/4 inch or whatever, which is really cool. And you can actually like, take it back. I could have it come all the way and set it up for over an inch if I wanted to, which is kind of cool, kind of nice. So if you're really trying to make sure you had something nice and even, it's just kind of a cool tool. Turn off the light here. I feel like it's easier to see. Just the way that's set up. So another really nifty thing. Yeah, I don't think this one has a thread cutter. My machine, my other normal Janome that you guys see me work on, technically has a thread cutter, but it's been used so much before I even got it, because it was my Nana's, that the cutter is beyond dull and won't break anything anymore. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, so there's some cool things in this box. So it did come with a ruffler foot, which is really nice. I haven't quite got the hang of it yet, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. You know what else it came with? If anyone's been watching me for a while, is this guy. So, not a medieval torture device. It's actually a binding foot, which I never even knew existed. So, if you were with me when I made the walkaway dress, this would have been so nice to have. You thread your binding through here, and it like kind of goes through this like it would a rolled hem foot and stitches onto your project. Who knew that this thing existed? And this answers a lot of questions. It would have been a little bit faster with this thing. But very, very, very cool. What else do I have? I have a straight stitch plate. So just with tiny, tiny hole right here if I didn't want to do the general one. This machine does an absolutely beautiful straight stitch, so I'm like, even just with its general plate on there, I'm probably not too worried about it. There's the aforementioned rolled hem foot, pretty basic. Comes with a straight stitch foot, and also this buttonhole foot. But I have something special for this. The one foot I am missing is the zipper foot, some sort of zipper foot or cording foot, which I do not have. That's the one thing it is majorly missing. So I might attempt to find that. There are also a few other decorative stitches that were available with this machine, but again, I don't know if I'm fussed. I'm probably going to use them like once and never again, knowing me. So, oh, nice, Frankie. Yeah. Got your 401A. Yeah. So this one is really similar. What I've been told is this one is exceptionally similar to the 400 series. It's just fancy atomic packaging. So this foot is for if you want to do a manual buttonhole. I did have a little treat for later, but I might tell you guys now. Later on in the live, I did also pick up a buttonholer. So this is what the Singer buttonholer looks like. So you would buy this separate. This is like a separate thing. These machines are what's called a shank foot or a slant foot. So they're you can kind of see like the profile of this is literally slanted forward. You need to make sure that you get this to match that. If you've got a slant or whatever, whatever one you have. They made a few different ones. There's like short, standard, and slant, I think. So this is really, really cool. I put the link from where I got it down below. I got it from a sewing shop online. And this is actually the sample that they sent me. Looks like a football. Yeah. Looks like a football. Kind of looks like a flying saucer a little bit. I just think it's so nice, like with the packaging. That it just keeps everything like nicely. And then just like how nice it looks on the inside. I was like quite impressed. I was like, why don't we make packaging like this anymore? And of course it's gold and goes with the machine, which is really cool. We might crack this out and play with it later. But again, it has basically sort of the same principle. It has almost like cams of its own for the different buttonhole lengths. So that one's like a straight. We have like a small buttonhole. Yeah, here's the keyhole. So you can kind of see the difference between the straight and the keyhole there. So kind of cool. Yeah, I really like the slant foots too. I think it is really cool. It gives you a lot of space, like kind of to work around in your machine and like the throat of your machine. And I also think it'll be really nice for filming actually, because you'll be able to see really well. Like you can see really well all the way around here. So I think it'll be really good for that. And again, like I say, it gives you lots of clearance. Like things don't bulk up behind here as bad, which is really nice. Yeah, little spaceship. Yeah, I like the whole sort of spaceship set. It's all very sort of atomic era inspired. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I think the only one that this one is missing that I would like to get that this set, apparently there was an eyelet foot made. So I would like to possibly get one of those, but we'll see. So I thought we would crack this guy out later on the stream, maybe show you guys how it works. Because I think it's just cool. There was also the other thing I've been trying to get my hands on is a monogrammer. So there's a monogrammer that works under a similar principle. There's like a basic one and a deluxe one that does like bigger kind of curly letters. Um yeah, so I was trying to get my hands on either one of those. I haven't so far for any reasonable price that I'm willing to pay. Mostly just for the kicks to put like a letter on something. So yeah, so I'll be excited to keep my eye out for that. Maybe we'll hop back on one day and do one of those. But yeah, I just got the buttonholer for now. So let me just put it back off to the side here without slamming the chat, preferably. Maybe I'll tilt this guy up again. Working with the two cameras today. See if I can do this. So yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of like a spaceship. I kind of enjoy this machine. It does have a free motion darner. That's actually this lever here, which is really cool. So it's actually a lot easier to do. So I literally just flick this up. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it sort of lifts this. So instead of actually dropping the feet down, it lifts the plate up, which is really kind of cool. So, and then I can flick it one over and it'll pop this plate off to like pull it off if you wanted to like service underneath. And then I can just set it back down. So it's really easy to do darning on here. I haven't figured out, you're supposed to be able to do free motion embroidery as well on here. Have I been able to figure that out? No. I was definitely struggling with it earlier today, hoping I could get it to work. So if anyone has any tips on that, I'd love to hear that. But yeah, it was basically just the needle ended up poking holes in my embroidery hoop, mostly. I don't even know where I put it now. Yeah, free motion could do monograms. Yeah, if I was good enough at doing free motion. So far I can't even get it to stitch. I don't know if you can see me madly, just badly poking holes mostly. I couldn't get it to actually stitch earlier, so I was trying. Something I've never done before. Yeah, learn to sew on a 401A equal to $2,000 nowadays. Tell me how much Gramps love grandma. Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I was surprised that this gal had it. And it was obviously well used. Like, this machine was well loved. Like, really the only chips in the paint are on the wheel here, which is probably what you touched the most, so that makes sense. But yeah, the motor was fine, wasn't seized or anything. So yeah, amazing videos on these machines. Andy Tube. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's actually you know, I think if you were like, normally I get my machine serviced, you know, once a year. But these ones actually are quite detailed in how to service your machine. I think it's all in the back of the book here, which is really cool. So I might try my hand at it eventually, servicing it myself. I didn't when I first got it because I just wanted to make sure it was all like checked out and working well, which is good because this did need to be replaced. This tension wheel here. So yeah, so I was glad I took it in and ended up getting it checked out from its first service. And it needs to be cleaned. I was honestly having a bit of allergies. She obviously smoked, and I have trouble there was like something on here killing my allergies. So, but yeah, so I'm happy to have it back now. That's in good working order. And, yeah, so instead of doing it that way. But yeah, I'm hoping to give it a try probably when it needs it in a while. Obviously, it just came back from the shop, but you know, give it a go. Yeah, it looks cool. I couldn't even get it to, oddly, people, when I was trying to work on it, I couldn't even get it to like complete a stitch for whatever reason. Like it wasn't coming through the fabric. Not sure what the issue was, to be honest. I was really giving it a try. It just kept poking and not actually completing a stitch. I don't know what was up with that, but it's obviously user error. I fully I was gonna honestly wait a little bit longer to make this video, but my other Janome was having issues with its bobbin case for the longest time, and it finally gave up the ghost, of course, right in the middle of a pattern test, which was just peak timing. And so it had to go into the shop, and this was just coming back to the shop. So my plan was to like slowly gear up to learning this guy and then turning in the Janome. But that's not going to happen because they're going to have my Janome for 12 weeks, they've told me. So we're doing a get to know you trial by fire happening here. So so you'll probably see this in the next video. Next few videos. So I thought we'd hop on here now, show it off, give you guys before you were like, what is that? That's clearly not a normal machine. So yeah, the bobbin was threaded. I'm not sure why it wasn't working. Maybe we can give it another go here later. I don't have the greatest like embroidery frame either. Yeah. All right, so maybe I'll show you guys. Let's start out maybe with, see if I can do this in such a way. So this here, what color do you guys think? I'm working on some muslin fabric here just so you guys can see. Get some black or some navy or something. What do I have a bunch of? Oh, I have this super dark navy. Let's use some of that. Oops, hit the camera. Oh, let's grab something for later. Let's use some of that red maybe for fun for later. All right. I'll just moving it around. Hold out the cord a bit. Okay, there we go. So how you thread these things is a bit weird. So I thought I would thread it on camera, which is not my normal, and also make myself a bobbin here. So it uses 66 bobbins. They're like just a smidgen flatter than the normal ones. So I'm gonna have to be very careful that I keep these away from my other regular bobbins. And you know what's really cool about this is you can actually set it up so that I can wind a bobbin while my other thread is still on there, which is pretty cool. Like I can just set this like over here and wind my bobbin and set it back up. Obviously today we're not going to do that, but that's kind of a cool thing I noticed is like I don't have to unthread my whole machine to thread a bobbin, which is really nice. Let me bump my camera up a little bit. So I don't have to like, you know, and just take this off, put this down, put my bobbin on. And so the way this works, a bit weird. Oh, that's really cool. Nomi 401A, Kenmore, and Omega Denim Machine. Yeah, I know Serena loves those. Loves those old Kenmores. She's got quite a few of them. I felt really lucky with this machine. If you guys were around for that live stream I did with Serena, we were talking about vintage machines, and then after the live stream, I was like, "Oh, I should just go look and see." And I sure, sure as day, I like went on Facebook Marketplace, and there it was, sitting the machine I wanted. So it was just so lucky. All right, so I'm gonna do. Let's push this little lever forward here. And then this works kind of weird. You actually like turn one half one way, one half the other way, where there's this gold knob here to disengage the knob. Just again, kind of weird, but kind of cool. And then you hold this straight up, of course. Kind of awkward. Oscar. Name your machine Oscar. Save him for heavy trash day in the neighborhood. Excellent. I have not named this machine. Oop. Came off here. There we go. I haven't named my machines in the past, but that's because I've really only had one machine, so this is all very new for me. Oh, I see. It's stuck here. First I'm showing you guys a demo and okay. First we're showing a demo and it's like messing up. Because I set it up awkwardly. Of course, guys, of course. This is what happens when I go live. Are we getting to the ugly part yet? Of course this happens when I'm on a live. Paid 125 Canadian for your 401 with a table. Yeah, that's probably not bad. Wow. 99K, Singer 27 treadle, Singer anniversary. Wow. Holy cow. Yeah, I know I'm kind of a rarity for some, like, I know most people have more than one machine. I obviously have a really small space, so I hadn't really invested in getting another machine. Oop. We're gonna have to do this again, guys. Well, shit. Yeah, everything goes wrong on the live. Yep. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I swear it makes nice bobbins, guys. I just thought it's kind of nice that you can have it set up for both, and then, but yeah. Anyway, I'll just tighten that back up. We'll set it up, but vintage machines become an addiction. Yeah, I mean they are too. I think because so few people sew anymore, you can get them for such a good price. And like the nice thing about this one, like this one is direct drive, which means it doesn't have a belt in here, so it's going to be pretty heavy duty for doing things, which I really wanted. And then it also is all metal, so again, very strong machine. A lot of people use these older machines for doing things like denim and leather and that sort of thing. So it has a really nice straight stitch, of course. So I think they're like basically, as far as I can tell, it seems like they're ideal for garment making. If you aren't like a quilter and don't need 1,000 stitches, it's even if you are, I think you could probably get away with a lot. But let me just take the white out here. Oop, what just fell? Yeah, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, same with the 401A. Yeah, the 401, like I've been told the 401s are basically identical. These ones just look funky. So, I invested in a soda stream this last weekend. I'm very excited. It is fantastic. Sorry, you probably just saw a close up of that, but I'm deeply enjoying my soda stream. It's like all right. So the way this is threaded is a bit strange. Let's see if I can bring it any closer here for you guys, because I feel like this is the real thing that is different from. See if I can do this in a way where I can see and you can see. Turn this off. Does that help? A little bit. All right. So yeah. So it goes down. It's just like slightly more complicated than my machine that I'm used to. Goes down. Then it hooks in. And then it goes around this tension thing. Hooks through here. It goes through this big eye up here. I can. It'd be bad if I'm having that much trouble before we get to the needle. Goes through this hook here. I can make it. There we go. And then it goes through this hook, and down here. So that's the only major. I mean, it gives you, and you can tell because it's got this bit of tension that you've got it right. You guys see that little plate moving up and down here? You can tell it's in between that tension plate. Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Yeah. So a little bit different. That's the kind of only complicated, annoying part. Like I say, I think the nice part is you don't have to undo it if you run out of bobbin. So, you aren't doing it as often, which is nice. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get used to that. It's not like that bad. It's just slightly like you got to work through it. It actually has a really cool guide like in this front here. So it shows you like how to do it right in the machine. Like gold, so it's having trouble showing it off on camera, but kind of cool. Obviously this shouldn't pop up like this. This was one of the only things that was broken on this machine. But by the sounds of it online, pretty much every machine broke the little upper pin, and again, it stays. It's not a big deal. I'm like not that concerned by it. And it sounds like they broke on nearly every machine. It sounds like it was a bit of a flaw in the machine. I'm going to turn this light back on here for a minute. Nails are a bit long. There we go. All right. And then this just slides forward. Whoop. So it is a standard drop-in bobbin, which is another kind of like modern convenience, which is really nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a weak spot. It seems like most people it was broken. Like I say, this machine, relatively to the ones I'd seen, was in great shape. So I sort of jumped at it for 70. It hadn't been serviced in a really long time, so I think that was the other thing. It was a bit of an unknown. And apparently it did live in a table. I saw someone say that earlier. It did live in a table originally. But for some reason, the gal said the auctioneer decided to auction off the table itself, that was worth money, but the machine wasn't for whatever reason. And I was like, no, the machine was probably worth more than the total table, but what do I know? This is obviously a little bit better for me working on camera anyway. I'm not that upset. And also, I do kind of find the old sewing machine tables a bit uncomfortable. I think because I'm a little bit taller and, I am of the chunky thighed. And so a lot of those machines, like, literally dig into the top of my legs. So, old tables. But I sort of did that without thinking because it's so similar to my old machine. But, hopefully everyone knows what I just did there. I just kind of spun it and drew it up into the machine. So just close that. So now we're good to go. And it's threaded and it's beautiful. Let me just double check here. Got some scrap. Have it on straight here. Oop. Oh, did I mess something up? Something's up. My thread broke. I think I've got my... Something got mangled. Oh, I knocked this when I was fiddling around here. That's what happened. What I get. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. It's good to do this anyway whenever you thread your machine and double check that all your stitches are going well. Oh, it's doing it again. Guys. Still. Because I was fussing around with it earlier. This is new thread. This is new thread. This is brand new thread. Just everything that could go wrong in Alive is going wrong in Alive. Because, you know, it was working beautifully. Let me actually flip this over. Yeah, that tends to help. I always forget with this. Doesn't spin as well when I have it the other way. That's why I like working on the top part, but I wanted to set it up on the inside today. So I want to do some, like, doubles. Oh, nice. Yeah, if someone wants to make me a custom table, I'm down with that. I would like a base. I've seen bases floating around for these. Some people have them on the internet. Just basically like something that would sit in, like, on this edge. Like a wooden base. I've seen a few floating around. Seems like most of them are for earlier models, though. So. There's some up with this thread. I'm not gonna be happy. First, I was doing all sorts of crazy tests before I got on the live here. Alright, there we go. Yeah, table was custom made to the machines of yesteryear. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of table it, like, lived in originally that the gal had it in. I was just, like, annoyed that the auctioneer would sell them separately. I just thought that was so weird. Considering, like, this model of machine's fairly collectible, I was just surprised that they decided that that was better somehow than selling them together. And that's why the gal ended up selling this separately on Marketplace. Kind of weird. I mean, I guess, like, their loss is my gain. Just seemed like a weird situation. So, but I know when you're handling an estate, it can be really weird. You know, family and everything, so. How we going? It popped out of the... Not sure what's going wrong here, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that the industrials, I think some industrials fit into cabinets, but I think it's this thread. Get different thread. This thread sucks. Let's get different thread. Let's try this again. Sum up with it. I mean, it's like Gutermann thread. I don't know what's happening. Let's just try again. Let's just pretend this isn't happening. Let's just... Oh, no worries, Rotten Ralph. Thanks for joining us. I know this is riveting content right now. I thought we were going to have fun with decorative stitches. We will. We'll get there. We'll get there. Alright. Let's get rid of that. Rid of the evil thread. Grab a... Let's just use the red that we've got in here. We can try and do a bobbin again. See, my other Janome must have Gutermann or it will not work. So that's the funny part. I think this one doesn't like the Gutermann as much because this one does better with thread that goes, what I was told, like you see how this one goes straight on here? And the Gutermann like crisscrosses? You know, as it's wound. You can kind of see that better on here. So like it's wound crisscross on this one, it's wound straight on this one. So what I was told was, you know, with the on my Janome where these sit sideways, like this, it's better when they're crisscross because it comes off more even. Versus if I stick one like this in my Janome, it just turns into a mangled pile of garbage. Versus this one is standing straight up, so it's supposed to do better actually with ones that are straight around. So I might have to look at buying some different thread for it, although it was doing just fine with the white thread I had in it earlier. I've been sewing a whole bunch on this machine already. I did a whole amp, and it was fine. Just because I'm on live camera. Alright, let's try this again. Set my wheel apart. This here. Oop. Wrap it around this post. Engage. Now what? just fine, guys. He needs to act up. We might be... Okay. Yeah, it's just engaged. Oh no. Testing my sanity on this live stream. Sorry guys, we have an intense level of concentration going on here. Alright. Through the thing. Through the thing. Down. Through the thing. Around the thing. This bottom one is always the most difficult. Doing kind of a control test right now and just threading the one in that I've been using all day. Do I have any other needles kicking around? That's the only other thing I can think. Singer needle. I've got one Singer brand needle. Take a deep breath. Yeah, I'm trying. Just annoyed. I was all set up and excited. It was working so well. We're making friends. Okay. Seems good. I swear, guys, it was working brilliantly. Oh, yay! Yay! And I'm sweating. It's like 1,000 degrees in here, too. It's like very hot here in Texas. My little room is very hot. It's on the outside of the apartment. All right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, what was that? All right. Wonderful. That looks beautiful. Can't really see white on this white on white, but we'll switch to some darker fabric. You can see the bobbin thread. The bobbin's a bright green here. See? Ignore the navy rose. Something up with that navy thread. This one sucks. You can have it. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna go play with some cogs. What cog do you want to play with, or cam do you want to play with first? That was the plan. That was the original plan. Play with some cams. Let me grab some. Some random orange. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I feel so much better now that it's working. It was totally not working before. It was driving me crazy. So it was obviously just that thread, but you got to watch me try and wind it again. So we're good to go. Good to go. Beautiful. So let me. That helps. Is it easier to see? Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, isn't this nice on camera? Like you can totally see everything that's going on. Ooh. Does it backstitch? Yes, it does backstitch. So the way you backstitch. Throw this back here before I lose it. This was really cool too, by the way. I noticed this was broken because it was on the outside of my machine when I got it. And there was a gal on Etsy that had, this is actually 3D printed replacement part. So I left it in the description bar if you guys are looking for that, because I know probably a lot of people's broke, but I just thought that was so cool that they 3D printed it. And then she also sold new felts for this, so I replaced that. Oh, I lost the chat. Lost the plot. Lost the plot. Yes, it does backstitch, so I'll show you guys that. So the way you backstitch, see if I can turn it. So the way you backstitch is you actually, it's this lever here, this like atomic-y symbol. So I have it on like 10, but if you go like that, that'll backstitch. In the middle of the two crosses, that's the kind of like fine area, buttonhole area, and then further down, that's your regular stitch, and bottom is basting stitch. But whoop. So you can go like so. I can go whoop, and then go whoop, like that. And I can switch to my zigzag, press this down, and move it over to like 3. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Using this dark green here so you guys can still see. So that's kind of... Make it a little wider here. Obviously just that navy thread that was having issues. See? Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? So straight, and then I set it on 3. And I set it on 5. That gives you kind of a good idea of what it'll do. So that's what I mean by you can switch kind of within one cam. Let me set it back. You have to set it back to straight before you pop the cam out. I pop the cam out. I don't want to do... Oh, that's the button holder. That's not the cams. That's the button holder. I kind of want to do... I don't know if it needs to come apart on this one because it actually just sits... This spool here actually just sits in... It actually has a slot here in the top that it can go into. Oh, I don't know if you can see right there. Which is kind of cool. They sort of thought of everything on this. It's kind of nice. All right. What one do I want? What one do I want? I think I want that one that's sort of like a scallop to try, or maybe one of the balloon ones, maybe? What do you guys think? Yes, this one doesn't, because it's the 503, it doesn't come with the pre-installed ones. Like I say, they said some of the models that had them built in either didn't fare as well and they're not as easy to service. So, because this was sort of a tester machine for me, I thought it would be nice to get this one with the external cams. That, and like, I'm probably going to rarely use these. So, being quieter and having less issues seems more important to me than having a bunch of decorative stitches for how often I use them. Can't say I ever use them really on my old machine. I think I used them once on the hem of one skirt. Scallop, please. Okay. Yeah, I had no problems with the bobbin winder before. I think it was honestly just that terrible navy thread, I think, causing me to have a meltdown. All right. I had one request for scallop, so I'm going to do scallop. So, and again, all you do is just pop it into this top thing here. Oh, this feels like I'm breaking it. But I'm not. So there goes the scallop. Booklet! Yes, I do have the booklet here. Slantomatic. This booklet's actually really cool, I gotta say. Like, actually has a lot of great diagrams in it. So yeah, I can show you if they want to see any particular part. It has a whole part on doing like applique and a few other things in it too, which is kind of neat. All right, so let me do the scallop here. Give it a go. Oh, let's tilt this camera back down. Hard to remember with working with the camera extra today. No, maybe I'll scoot a little bit closer. Let's see how wide I need this here. Let's maybe start out with like a 3 and see how that looks. Yes, the cams are numbered. I just can't remember what one is which. Like it has numbers on the top of the thing here. I think this scallop is number 6. We're gonna see what this looks like. I can't remember what I used before. That looks like nothing. Tighten this right up. I think it said you were supposed to be near the fine area. I think we need to be wider too. Oop. We have a mess again. Alright. Let me stop. Let me stop. Yeah, I think we need to go even finer here. Where I put my nippers. Before I lost the plot here. You can kind of see. So this isn't a true scallop. Apparently you can buy a true scallop for this machine. Oh, what in Pete's name happened here? Look this way. Yeah, so I'm wondering how rare the scallop one is. The other thing I want from my buttonholer is an eyelet one. I don't know if I said that, but there was like other ones for that as well. That are cams, like cams for the buttonholer. See if we can make a nicer scallop. Let me look here what they in the book. We might try some twin needle action. Yeah, I think I do need to adjust the tension for the bobbin. That is definitely... This tension I know is supposed to be slightly looser. Oh. Crescent. Crescent is what they're calling it. Versus the scallop foot. Or scallop cam. So I might hunt down a scallop cam, see if I can find one. I think that would be really fun. As something to try on the hem of a dress or something. Neckline, something like that. But let's give it another go here. Pump this up to a bit finer. Let's see where we're at. Oop. Now we're just stitching in place. Not the most beautiful in the world. It's pretty much on, there's not really a way to get a wider scallop, just the way it works with the, because I pretty much have it on the widest setting to get the pattern, because that's kind of how it works with the cams. Versus like, yeah, you can see it's kind of loose on the back though. Yeah, it's not the most beautiful, but getting better. Getting better. Might try one of the other ones. Pulled out the bubble guy. Try the bubble guy. There we go. All right, let's try that. See how that works. And if you haven't liked the stream already, I know I've mostly been dicking around tonight, but I would love it if you would like the stream because that really helps me out. And since I'm only live streaming about once a month, it is also really helpful if you are subscribed to hit the bell. I have to do the YouTuber thing because we're actually past the halfway mark, but if you haven't already, yeah, please do hit the bell down below and subscribe. That'll help you get notified when I am actually live streaming because, like I say, we're doing it once a month. So, and it's going to vary week to week. Like I say, we're doing this a bit early just because you're going to be seeing a lot of this machine. So we have to be friends. Oh, I have this on straight still. That's why. Oh, there we go. Now let me make this slightly more fine. Nope. Now we've done it. I had it too tight, I think. Yeah, definitely some playing around with. I'll probably have to make some notes for myself on how tight it needs to be. Because that just made a mess of things. So I'll have to do a little bit of testing and see where we need to be at for some of these stitches. I know they said for these satin stitches I was supposed to be 2, but where we're at, and that's not going particularly well, so. Pull this through without rethreading? No. No. Alright, so we've got a half an hour left. Do we want to see the buttonholer? I did manage to successfully do that a couple of times earlier. Yeah, 400 and 500. Yeah, the 400 and 500 seems like they're the same machine, so essentially. I just like it to look like the Jetsons. Buttonholer. Do that. Do maybe remember if I should probably threaded before I get the buttonholer on here, as I recall. It's painful. Is there anything particular you guys would like to see too? I was like gonna do the buttonholer just because I think it's cool, but if there's anything particular you'd like to see, do let me know. I feel like I had like I sort of lost the plot when I lost my mojo there in the middle, so. Alright, buttonholer it is. Alright. You crack out my. This is the one I made earlier. Quite nice, actually. I was quite impressed. So, first things first, I've got my little spaceship here. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, 401A because of your grandma. Now when you feel like you're sewing with her, yeah. Well, that other Janome was my Nana's machine. That was the machine that I learned to sew on, so that's kind of why I'd kept it and have been sewing on it. So I'm really hoping they can fix it still, even though I know it's probably not. You know, most people would say it's like not worth it, but you know, I might look into another modern machine as we go here, but we'll see how it goes. I don't really have it in the budget right now, and we're gonna get along with this thing, damn it. So here's our buttonholer. So the way this works is a similar system. So you open the back here, and that has our basically the same things. This is like basically the same little cam. Let me get my, hold on here, guys. It's back for a second. All right, there's my buttonholer. And take my buttonholer out of the thing. And then, so in the back here is these same cams. So we have this part here. If I flip this up, that's where the cam is. Saw that. So, and these are kind of what these cams look like. So I was showing off some of them earlier if you weren't here. So that one's like, say, got a keyhole end. A smaller keyhole. There's a few different options for this one too. That's what I mean, where I'd want like an eyelet one. Here's like a really little one if you're doing like a shirt button or something. So you just pop those in there. Same way. I don't really want to, well, I will. You have that. You pop it in. Oh, I didn't have to. Before, sometimes you can adjust this to get it to catch, like in the pins. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And then I'm going to set this all the way backward. Oop, too far. So you can sort of see when I click it, it goes all the way around and back down. And then it'll fall around. So first things first, I need to set up this like kind of guide plate. So this just goes on here. And then I screw it on the same way I screw on that seam guide. this here. And then you gotta kind of tighten this down. I'm using just like part of a screwdriver here. A whole big screwdriver. Make sure it's nice and tight. Ask me how I know. Oh, take out the other cam from earlier. A zigzag cam. Need that. There we go. Always freaks me out every time putting those cams in. I'm like, am I gonna break it? Am I gonna break it? No, it's fine. So I'm gonna do. I've just set it into fine area. I'm just gonna go down and draw my bobbin thread up, just like you would. This was like the actual plate itself. Pull that out of the way. So now that's like through there. You want to make sure that this isn't like hitting anywhere here. That you've got it straight. So the thing that took me a minute to figure out was that this piece has to be like all the way up, like that. Just like turn that off. This piece needs to be all the way up like that, and then we remove our regular foot. And then there's like this little screw in this case too. I love how everything has like a spot. So this like lives right here. It's kind of cool. So you just pull that out. So this goes behind. But this piece has to clamp onto here. This freaked me out earlier. You have to give it a pretty good shove to get it to hold onto there. And then just screw that in. Like that. Cool. Now, so the way you're supposed to do this is to line this up with the streams. Then feed it on through. In theory, I would have like a line or something here, and then you drop it down. And it should just go on its own. Now, I warn you now, this is going to be really friggin' loud because it's actually going to click along this cam in this thing. So, it's going to be loud. Trust me. And voila! Isn't it lovely? Now, you can always go around again to thicken that up. You guys kind of heard, though, when it hit the end of the cam. So, see how nice that is, though? I'm, like, really impressed by this, I gotta say. It just kind of does it without thinking, and it is so much nicer than my Janome buttonhole that I had on my more modern machine. So, super excited about that! I don't know what you guys think. I was, like, so impressed. Like, when it did it the first time, I was like, yeah! Like, so I'm gonna be so excited. I'm just like, we're gonna have all the button everything. Button down everything. Oh. Hitting something? Are we... What's our problem now? Right? I just think it's so nice. And it's like so easy to do. I was really impressed. Mind you, it won't do it again. Oop. Didn't mean to like fire off the starting gate there. Might be a bit wonky, that one. Oh, yeah. I broke the thread here. I'm going to be having issues with that tonight, and I'm not quite sure what the deal is with that. But yeah, something's up with my tension for sure. I gotta figure that out. What's going on with that? I wasn't having this issue earlier, but I must have knocked something or done something. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. So it was working just fine, of course, before stream. Turn on the light here for a hot second. I do love that I can turn the light on and off separate from the machine. But yeah, I think I gotta correct my bobbin tension a bit here. That would be my guess. Alright, let's try and do one more here before I get off stream. My alligator's on there. I was at the end of the buttonhole. Let's try again. Yeah, it seems like a simpler way to do buttonholes than my other machine. My other machine did really terrible buttonholes. This was working brilliant earlier. Of course, now it's arguing with me now, but I feel like once I get this down, this will be a really easy method. There we go. That time I got to go around twice there. Yeah, so that gave me super nice buttonhole. I'm already excited. I already want to do a shirt dress. So this is going to be great. As far as I know, this is the vintage buttons that I have. It seems a bit big. Let's see if I've got one size down. But this is the ones for my shirt dress. Do you guys want to see the fabric? A little bit of a spoiler for you guys being on the live stream. Since we're a couple minutes till we're done here, we might go off a little bit early unless anybody has any more questions. But for my shirt dress, isn't that going to be pretty? Some buttons. I'm so excited. So excited. It's going to be great. So, anyway, hopefully you guys sort of enjoyed this. I know this is a bit of a chaos stream, more than I was intending on it. I thought we had gotten along well enough that I wasn't having issues, but you know, we tried. We tried. I have to find a buttonhole attachment for yours. Yeah, it's really great. I did leave the link for where I got mine down below in the description bar, because I got it from this Miller Sewing, and they had actually a lot of colors on there. So, colors, a lot of different types on there. So, and they did have the monogrammer, but of course, by the time I went to buy the monogrammer, they were sold out of monogrammers. So, chaos streams are the best. Well, I'm glad. But yeah, I just thought I would show it off because I was like, when I get into sewing with it here, we're gonna be like, what? What is this new machine? And it's gonna be like, well, this is my exciting new toy here. And we'll get the hang of it. Like I say, I still haven't gotten the hang of it as well as I would like. You know, I've been working on that other machine so long that it's like second nature. So, and I think I do have to fiddle with the bobbin tension here, even though it just came back from the shop. Seems a bit loose, but I'm still really excited about sewing with it. I think it does a really good job for the most part, and I think it's going to be a really good new workforce for me. I've got some exciting projects with it coming up, and yeah, we're going to be sewing with it for the summer. 12 weeks, man. 12 weeks, so we have to be friends by then. So, but I think 12 weeks is enough to like get me into it, right? Make sure that I've got it down pat. So that's my hope anyway, so that we'll have that amount of luck. Yeah, it takes time to master them. Yeah, for sure. Well, and like I say, I've been working on the other Janome so long. I've never had a singer. So this is all kind of new. This whole tension wheel business is new for me. The bit underneath is like new for me, but I'm really excited about like kind of the potential it has, mostly as like, you know, with the free motion embroidery and the, you know, the buttonholes. You know, I can do really nice bar tacks on here that my old machine made shitty bar tacks, you know, stuff like that. You know, doing a blind hem on here was so easy and so nice. And then this lever for the top stitching, like I think it's really going to be those kind of details that are going to be really nice about this machine. Like if I have to do top stitching or bars tacks or buttonholes, like kind of all the things that my other machine just like kind of makes a mess of. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm hoping, you know, kind of all those finishing touches that'll kind of up my game on this guy. I gotta figure out the free motion thing. I don't know why it wasn't working earlier. But But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this machine. So, hi Sam. Um, yeah. Well, custom board. It's not really a custom board. It's just a piece of cardboard. I get these from Uline. They come in like a pack of 50. I think they're 10 by 15, which works out really well. So if you've got like a 60-inch fabric and you do it in quarters, it fits really well on these. So yeah, so I really like them. I bought a whole bunch of them, and then that makes it nice to fit in the shelves. So, but yeah, I got a whole bunch a while ago. Plus my buttons. Yeah, these are. I'm excited about these vintage buttons too. My dual cameras going on. But suppose I could switch back to the just me hanging out. This was fun. I don't know. I hope you guys like the extra camera too. I think that was really helpful tonight. Yeah, I've definitely learned that the hard way about this tension wheel, that you have to have that thread really in there. Kind of feels like it. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I'm really excited about this machine. Like I say, this was a dream machine for me. So I think I'll be really happy with it once I get the hang of it. And I learn what it likes and what it doesn't like. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. We got some fun projects coming up. I've got a project coming up where I'm going to make a dress that's the same year as this machine, so that's going to be really fun. But unfortunately, I was going to have that as its debut video, but that's probably not the way it's going to go, based on my other machine being in the shop. But yeah, so it's going to be fun. I'm really excited for it. So you'll be seeing a lot more of this guy. I'm not sure what my next video is because my schedule got moved around a little bit based on a couple of things behind the scenes, but we'll see how it goes. I probably won't be streaming here live until August. I've got a couple of trips coming up, like weekend trips. So that's kind of the other reason we're doing this weekend. So but yeah, so probably the beginning of August is when we're going to do the next live stream. But yeah. Yeah, I think no one has any questions. We might wrap it up a little early. But it was really great to hang out with you guys tonight. I've been really kind of enjoying it, other than the technical difficulties. Of course, being on stream, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Um, but yeah, so I hope you guys semi enjoyed it. I know it was a bit of chaos, and I'd love to hear, I'd love to hear what you guys sew on down below as well. And of course, I should probably do my YouTube spiel. If you guys aren't subscribed, please subscribe. And please make sure that you've got your bell notifications checked, because that'll notify you when I do go live for future streams. That's always super helpful, so you guys don't miss them. Because I know a lot of people have said that. And if you haven't liked the stream already, please like the stream, because it does help other people see it even after the fact. So it really does help me out always. The most important thing you can do for a YouTuber, honestly, is liking a stream, which is crazy. Love seeing people sewing on vintage machines. Yeah, I think the vintage machines are really amazing, especially if you're garment sewing. I really don't. What do I normally use? A straight stitch and a zigzag. That's all I really need. So having a machine that can, do that really well. And I mean, for $250, essentially, with it being tuned up and everything, I have a very serviceable, sturdy machine. So, I think it'd be a much better investment for most people than, say, buying like an equivalent, like cheap Singer, cheap Brother that's new. So, yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Frankie. Yeah, Beld And like, yes, the bell helps like when for these live streams for sure. So, because I know it's like, yeah, I'll tune in, and then doesn't happen. So, anyway, well, I will probably get off stream, and I will see you guys in the next one. I don't know what we're doing for the next live stream. I think I was going to ask you guys about that too. I was going to. I've had a lot of requests to do some sew-alongs on these live streams, so I've been debating when I'm going to start doing the sew-along. I think I would like to do a small sew-along in the fall, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do one before then, or if we want to try and have a guest on in August. That might happen too, so we'll definitely be looking at that. So again, let me know if you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to see for that. I was thinking about maybe one of the new plus size big vor patterns, so I'm excited about that. Like one of the ones that has like the new up to 38W range and regular, so that everybody could make it, which is really cool. So because we can do that now, which is amazing. So yeah, so it's probably what we're looking for, like August, September. So, and I hope you guys are enjoying your summer and you guys are getting some sewing in. And you would love a sew along. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas. I know I was thinking about one of the ones I got in the last like pattern haul, so yeah, we'll probably look at that. So anyway, again, I've been rambling for way too long at the end of the night here. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys!